Honestly, this year is all about mourning for me, it seems. Is it really? Wasn't 2019 that too? Well, no, not really. Not entirely. 2019 was all about realizing that there was a lot that I just kind of messed up with a lot of people. I still had a lot of the friends that I had in 2018, back in 2019. Darn it, I really don't like that I'm in my parents' room right now. It's like kind of weird, to be honest. But like, there is TV sound throughout the corridor. And my room is very small. See, I'm gonna see everything from everywhere. Anyway, yeah, so like my 2019, I mean, I still knew a lot of like the colleagues that I had and friends that I had in 2018. Like, I can't name names, which makes it a lot harder to be free when discussing these things. But, I don't know. Hold on. Well, I guess the first friend that comes to mind is one that I did a gig with on March 13th of last year. March 14th, March 13th, one of those. Let's say March 14th of last year. And she was a really good friend that I had from the music scene around here. And we played at the Saint venue in Asbury Park. And I just got mad at her because, like, I didn't have anywhere near the crowd that she had at the end when I was performing, because it was 11:15 on a Thursday night. And I was just kind of peeved by that. But I also volunteered for that slot. So I was like, you know, I was really sad. I cried, honestly, but like, I also allowed her to do that. So saying you did this is kind of unfair, which is what I said to her. You did this, is what I said. And in a much fiercer way than I just did right now, because I don't want to engage in that haughty anger, to be honest. And it's events like that that point for me to the idea that I have BPD. Because, like, honestly, to get so enraged by someone just having a bone to pick with you, or by someone having, you know, by things not going your way, really, you know. Suddenly you lash out like that. Suddenly they're nothing. Suddenly they're horrible. Suddenly they've ruined your life, you know. That's BPD, like, idealize, devalue. One day they're, you know, your world and everything that is, you know, been all that is right with it. And the next day it's like, you know, I am better than you, and I am better than anything you say of me, and, you know, you cannot control me, and all this stuff, you know. It's insecurity. It's a broken ego, you know. BPD. And I suppose this applies to the self too. I mean, I tend to either think of myself as a really special person with a great heart and great soul who can just warm everyone, or I think of myself as literally the devil incarnate. And it's hard for me to see in between. I guess it's easier for me nowadays to see in between. I think of myself as fairly nice, but with a dark side, and a really dark side that needs to be curbed. But like, in my actions, in my relationships, in my relations with people, that has often manifested, you know. I've been through a lot lately in the past year and a half. Might be enough to buckle things, you know. I mean, when you suddenly lose hundreds of people that were near and dear to you from your circle, and not only do you lose connection with them, there is a loss of desire for those people to engage with you. That's very difficult to surmount. That's why I'm making these videos, in part because it's therapy for me. I'm even working on a memoir right now, actually, because a friend who I no longer speak to at this point who has an avian name, we'll say. His name is Avian. It's of a bird. He said that I should write a memoir. He said that, you know, maybe your story needs to be told. And I've heard that from people before, that there's a lot of grief I carry, and there's a lot of backlog that I carry, and I have an interesting presence to people. And maybe the key in engaging that, in unlocking it so it is fully potentiated and made of use to other people, is to write investedly, to make sure that it's on paper, make sure that it's felt, make sure that people can understand what is on my mind all the time and what has brought me to this point of being, you know? Goodness, I'm so scared to ramble when I do these things. It's terrifying. Ugh, didn't I sell that so well? Goodness. Just was like, and this memoir is gonna be so great because it's my story. And no, anyway, but I doubled the pages of it today. Actually, I hadn't worked on it for months, and I felt a need to write. I felt an urge to write, and in fact I almost made a video earlier today about music versus poetry, the mechanics behind both, the skill set needed for each one, how they interlock and how they differ. And I just felt like I was sort of dismissing my musical capacities and then defending my writing ones. And this brings me to an idea that maybe I need to stop worrying about my ineptitude at these arts and just need to continue to show them. But honestly, it's so tiresome. It's so tiring because it gets so demotivating knowing how many people are just gone. And I think about it every single day. I vent about it every single day because a lot of those people meant tremendously to me. Okay. Like this one girl who, I don't know. Her name ends in the letters RY. She was so therapeutic for me and so much of a gift. And I met her through the Bonner program at TCNJ, and she was just such a dear friend of mine. I even was able to console her with like her ex-boyfriend during my freshman year, and like we almost went to Radio City Music Hall. I bought tickets to the Rockettes for her, but like I couldn't go because of a test I was taking, I think. Yeah, because of a test I was taking, finals. And yeah, I mean, she was brilliant. She was so smart and good with people, and, you know, was a figure in her community and really helped to, speak for those disadvantaged and help out those disadvantaged. Really lovely girl, and like another girl whose name ends in EL, like she was, just so courteous and really loved my music, and we really connected on like Pink Floyd. She'd always say like she loves soft drums. It's just like such a funny thing to say, but like it's true. Yeah, soft drums are kind of nice. They're calming. And anyway, people like this, like I miss, and like I could if you let me use their full name, I could write books on like these people alone. And it's sad that just, I'm expected to move on from that now. It's another person whose name also ends in EL, and they were like a medieval musician and like, made these compositions, inspired by medieval music, played on medieval instruments, and they're the reason I started going to DPT. literally the reason I started going to DBT, you know, and like, I saw them perform this rendition of Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell at their college during one of the last semesters, or maybe the last semester even that they were there. Definitely the last semester they were able to actually perform in that concert as a winter concert. And like, they were just so talented and so charismatic and so nice. And, you know, I had that in my life. You know, you don't find that everywhere. And I'm not sure if I fully realized that. Like, granted, people like this were drawn to me, but like, my body, my soul chemistry, my personal chemistry has changed since then. I don't know if people are drawn to me in the same way that they were then. And also, you know, I'm not in college anymore, so I'm not meeting, I'm not brushing with, you know, as many people on a daily basis anymore. I'm also in quarantine nonetheless, you know, obviously, but, it's just, there are so many people that just like, how do you replace those people? And how do you just expect, like, oh, there will be another L, there'll be another L, there'll be another Re, you know? It's like, it doesn't happen that easy. I'll give you another hint. Re and Earl and L, you know? So anyway, so fill those out. But, goodness, I lucked out with these people, and because I dumped my load on them as far as like, you know, my daily struggles and my life struggles and all these things, you know, so enveloped in my own concerns, it sort of destroyed the integrity of those friendships, to be honest. They're lost to history now, if history records them. They're even lost to Facebook now. I mean, I guess they can still look up logs of messages that I wrote with them, you know, and I still have some texts between them saved to my, you know, my computer and phone, because I have a Mac, so text saved to that. But those moments can't be recreated, can't be reproduced, you know, can just be remembered. Can just be remembered. And yeah, I miss a lot of them, and I keep drilling it, because it's really hard to move on from that many people. Especially without feeling cold. Especially knowing that they did nothing wrong. There's another whose name starts with Z, and she called me a genuine individual in like her first message to me on Facebook, genuine and true individual, and that she'd love to, or true genuine individual, I think that was it, and she would love to meet with me more. And this is before I transitioned, even just over 4 years ago. And she and I, actually, our friendship happened in basically 3 stages. Like, there was the first time we were friends, then we kind of, then I was like, she said that I was in a very dark place and was kind of encroaching on her space to fill up that dark place. And she herself was dealing with some things, and so she kind of asked that I kind of let myself she said that I need to. Okay, so I just pulled up actually an old text log from Z, and it basically says that, yeah, I mean, I have a remarkable ambition for someone my age. I was 19 at the time, 19, hadn't transitioned yet, and that I was going to find myself consistently frustrated if I don't communicate my expectations and needs to others. In order to be considered a good person, consider others' needs before you act. Treat others how you would like to be treated, and communicate your appreciation to others. To be trusted, show up consistently, and do not act in ways that threaten the welfare and the boundaries of others. I remember this night, and goodness, I really screwed that up. But I'm not, I mean, one thing Zoe always made sure I know is that, like, you're not supposed to hate yourself. Did I just say it? Help me. Okay. Wow.